Yeah. Hi, all. Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to start SAP. This is a demo and FICO. So coming to, I would like to introduce myself. My name is, Shiva. I have 20 plus years experience, including 15 plus SAP FICO. I were, handled multiple projects in, different industries. So now, even in experienced faculty, like I'm going to give that training, not like trainer or trainee relationship. It's like real time explanation with the real time scenarios, like what the business ask, what are the user stories, that how we are going to map in SAP, what are the SAP has given the facilities, like enablement of that business process. Yeah. So let's begin that. Before going to that, so first we would like to know that what is the SAP. Okay, first, without knowing that, knowledge of basic SAP, where it starts, how it's grown up, and why SAP is an major ERP tool in the market, why it's an occupied market, how it is like sustained in the market, that we can discuss. Yeah. How many of you are belongs to non-commerce in this group? Anyone is non-commerce? Seems everyone is a commerce student. Can I ask you a question? One question, just like, so the training is training, okay? That is people are giving, many institutes also giving that training in SAP, but my layer is like different, slightly different compared to others. That is like I want to introduce subject as well, not only SAP, but before going to each scenario, we would like to explain that what is the business scenario, how it's going to be happen, and how it's a legacy. Legacy means other than SAP, how they are working on that other than SAP, how we are going to map in SAP. Yeah. So ERP is a tool. It's basically enabling the functionality, like what is the business process we are going to enter into the system. Okay, many ERP tools are there. Might you people aware about that? Tally, ERP tool, and Fetch something like accounting tools are there in the market. Very limited scope, which is that, like where that what we can call it as small firms can use that ERP tools. And another one is like majorly there is a two major ERP tools in the market. One is SAP, another one is Oracle Finance or Oracle tools. Okay, Oracle Finance means it's specifically it's concentrated on Oracle purely finance. Okay, but in coming to the SAP, it's an integrated. Okay, integrated multiple tools and software tools are included in that. It is facilitating to that entire business process mapped in a single system, and it is integrated with each department. Okay, so that is the major success is happened majorly because of that. It is in a single tool. It is facilitating all the departments related, or all the functions, business functions can be mapped in the single tool, that is the SAP. So let's go to that detail way. Just briefing, it's not a I'm just going to brief you about that tools, how it is, what is the SAP, where it is started, how it is grown up. Then we will go for FICO. Yeah. Before proceeding, do we have any questions or queries? Okay. We'll discuss that. Is there any questions we will discuss? Okay. So today we have started, introduction of SAP. Our agenda is we would like to know that what is the SAP, what is the history of SAP, and what are the key modules are there in SAP. And then we will discuss, brief about that, SAP FICO. Yeah. What is the SAP? You people might aware something in the market. People are calling, simply SAP, right? So it is like it is in a SAP. We can call it as SAP. That is a multiple systems, multiple applications, and multiple products. Okay, it's not a single word or single system. N number of systems are involved because it is facilitating all the business process. It's a tool facilitating for enter all the business transactions in the system. Yeah. So what is the ERP? Enterprise Resource Planning. In the market also we can see multiple ERP systems that we just discussed. Okay. That major tool is ERP. One of the major tool is SAP. Okay. So it's people how it is how we can call it as well after you learn SAP. Many people are easily find out when you entered into the organization. You people are calling it as SAP. Many people, they don't know that, they can simply call SAP FICO or SAP FICO, something like, different, terminology people are using. But it's a silly question, but it's in interview also, they can call it as what is the module you have learned. Okay. You may tell that, yeah, I have learned that, I am experienced in SAP FICO or SAP FICO. So the people they'll underestimate you. Like, okay, let's go for the basic questions, then we'll see that how the persons are going to answer. Yeah, because after you learn the SAP, you always use SAP FICO, not SAP FICO. Yeah, because it's a basically SAP invented in a Germany. That when you talk about the SAP, the word is having a different meaning in a Germany language. That's called pig something like. Okay, so especially Germans may feel different way. If you call it as SAP, when you are people are belongs to German, then they feel a different way, right? Each country have a different words and different meanings for that. So this is the history of SAP. It started origins like 1972 to 1980 that how they are established the organization. Initially, the five people came out from that IBM. They have started the business. The primary motive one when they came out from that IBM is like to establish a accounting system. So day to day business, like people, that's a computer is just introduced that time P4 systems. That time they thought about like we can need to develop a separate kind of accounting treatment means accounting information how we can enter in a system. So they came out and they have started, and that's an R1. R1 means it's in real time. Okay. R1, R2, R3. These are all major, ECC. Initial, what we can call SAP name, we can call it as SAP ECC. That is the version. So they are introduced first, introduced that 1981. Here you can see financial accounting system running on mainframe means it's an on the like we can see that our system we have a modem, we have a monitor, we have a keyboard, everything, right? So like it's in a single system they have developed in that. They are sitting into that they are what we can call it as it's in a client space. Okay, they sat there in a client space, then they have developed accounting related system. They have used for the kind of invention. Okay, so let's go to that 1981 1990. They have added multiple languages, right? So geographically, when you call it as like different languages, different currencies, each country have separate currencies because they want to expand the business. So how it is possible? Because of that, expanding their local languages, local currencies. Yeah. So then after that, the client server era, client server means that server is established in the client level. Different architect process means it's basically like clients and systems both are slightly different. Servers means you might aware about that, where the system means our SAP tool is working on that. Okay, infrastructure, nothing but architecture or infrastructure, whatever it is. For example, we are working like Excel, PowerPoint, Word, whatever it is that like front end screens, right? Those screens can be worked on what is the back end? That is the operating system, right? So like that way, it's a server concept. So it will be the data storage, something somewhere it will be store the data whenever you need it. Then the data will be retrieved from the server itself. So 1991 to 2000, like you might aware about high-tech city is built in 2002 or 3. Okay, so after that only our people knows that what is the SAP. Okay, so running multiple platforms, R3 system integrated modules. Here, finance, logistics, HR, these are all multiple modules. What is the module we can discuss? Next, screen. Then after that, here is a completely client server. Means it's in a single, like the servers are established in the client location. Then after they have expanded the network or their innovations based on the internet connectivity. Okay, internet connectivity. Even though it's an established or it's an installed in the client space, but it is connected with internet. Okay, so that is happened in 2001 to 2010 duration. So many acquisitions business has done, many tools they are acquired. Okay, even SAP, non-SAP, many things. Then in-memory computing, 2011 to 2020, we are in this era. Okay, still we are using that, ECC, which is there, before 2010, but 2011 onwards, SAP is focused on that, cloud solutions. S4 HANA we can call it as, that is the latest version we are using still. And even many companies, n number of clients using that ECC. They just migrating from ECC to ECC means it's a lower version, and S4 HANA is a latest version. Okay, so it is innovation started in 2011, but it's actually like they are focused on memory. Okay, database. Then 2015 onwards, it is introduced next generation ERP means it's a cloud solutions, public cloud, private cloud, on premises, many variations. It has came up after 2015 means after 4 years they are invented multiple layers. Then they are introduced for public. That is happened 2015 onwards. Okay. So many like success factor, Ariba, procurement, Concur, it's in a travel and expenses. In generally we can see if you people may if you are working in a any corporate sector, you might see in that Concur tools like expenses reimbursement kind of. Okay. Recent development 2021 to 2025. It's an latest version, analytical query reports. Okay. It is basically ECC to S4HANA. What is the changes happened? It's a real-time update. Whenever your transaction is entered somewhere, for example, uh, Reliance Trends or Reliance Digital or Reliance Industries, something for example we can take. End user, they are entered the data like something transaction, either it's a cash transaction or purchase order or purchase request, whatever it is. Something business transaction they are entered. So then it will immediately update all the layers. Legacy system, they are manually, they need to go and visit the store. They need to circulate the document. They need to carry the document. But in latest and after that in SAP and even latest, whenever you enter the data, it will update. ECC, it is taking some time. Okay. So now it is a simplified solution. They merged many things. Okay. For the data processing process. So it is quickly updated and you will get the reports online immediately. Your manager or your CEO can do that, he can get the report in a fraction of seconds. Previously, it has to be done month end process. Every month end, they need to, execute month end process. Then after that, they need to check that, accuracy. Then only reports can be generated. But now, whenever the transaction is entered, system will align with all the areas, departments. Okay. These are all like, basic information about that SAP, how they grow now. Yeah. These are all basic, milestones. Okay. That's an SAP founded in and, launched R1, R2, R3 systems. What are the R1, R2, R3? Then we can see. Okay. So here the R1, R means real time. One means it's on a one tier architecture. One tier, two tier, three tier. What is the tiers? Right? So R1 means it's on a single system. That is store the data. Okay. It is store the data, fetching the data, and even all the functionalities. Okay. So if it's a single system, whatever something you needed, then you need to sit into that system, then you can collect the data. Presentation, okay, applications, storage, all those things are in a single system. That is called R1 system. Okay, data storage, applications logic, and user interface. User interface means whatever the screen we can see. You cannot see operating system, right? 2003 or whatever the operating systems we are using. So the applications is running on the operating system. So the front end screen, which we can call it as user interface, where user actually you can they can see and they can write something like whatever the transactions. Yeah. When you call it as R2 systems, it's an splitted that the process gun splitted. Integrated modules means one department to another department. The connectivity is established. Tier 2 means R2. Real-time processing. Multi-language support, which is came up in a R2 1982. Okay. That 19 after 1982 they have established multi-currencies, multi-languages, real-time processing, integrated departments. Okay. R3 system. Here you can see that presentation layer is different and application layer is different. Database is different. Previously, R2 means applications. Okay. Here you can see mainframe computers where okay, here where we can see one is like application, another one is a presentation and database. But in R3 system in 1992, they have split that process got splitted, presentation layer, application layer, database layer. Yeah. So now we are in a S4HANA phenomena. It's a in-memory computing, modularization, different process they have got invented and introduced to the business. Okay. Then we just understand the business before going to SAP. What is the business process cycles? You might aware about. So anyone, what you want to see, like something you want to buy, what you can do? Anyone? It's in a two-way, two-way communication that we can understand that where you are. Okay. What is the business process cycles? Anyone? Right or wrong? No problem, boss. Okay. How you can, what something you want to buy? For example, you want to buy a mobile. What you can do? You can unmute yourself and speak. No one daring? No problem. I can tell you. Something I want to buy a car or something I want to buy a mobile, whatever it is. So I can visit the store. Then I'll ask my requirement, right? So based on the requirement, whether product is there, then they will tell us like, what is the price. If something the product is not there, what they can do? Where they can check first? First, they can check the warehouse, whether the product is there or not. That availability of the product, whether it is there or not, right? Then if something, the product which customer is asked, that is not available in the store, then the sales team will ask, first they will ask the inventory department, means where the store is there. That stock is there, not there. If stock is there, then they can sell. Okay. If stock not there, then what they will do? They will ask the production team or procurement team. Either it's a tradable goods, something that directly they can purchase and sell, it means they can ask the vendor to supply the, okay, that the sales team cannot directly contact to vendor. What they can do, sales team can ask the inventory department or procurement department, boss, we have a customers, we do not have the sufficient stock, kindly proceed for the procurement, right? So they can purchase the materials or traded goods. If it is related to production process, something we have a production unit, okay, that organization have a production unit, sales team has inquired that product is not available, or few products are available, it is not meeting the business, demand, product demand. Then they will raise a request to go for a production process. Then production department, what they can do? To produce a product, they need a raw material. Immediately they can check the department. Okay, warehouse department, boss, we need this so and so materials to produce this much of bunch of products. Then again the production purchase department, they can raise a purchase request or purchase order or something, they can ask the vendor to provide the raw materials. Raw materials as provided, then production started. Production, how they can start the production? Here again, production, they have a planning. What is the quantity we are going to produce? How much material we needed? What are the raw materials required? What are the raw material quantities required? What are the time frame when the raw material is required? Right? And what are the labor to produce a product? There is a man activity and machine activity, means the manpower or whatever the manpower is needed and whatever the machineries required to produce a product, they can check all these areas. That is called production planning. So anyhow, vendor is supplied and even we have a production facility, then they can execute the production, that we can call it as shop floor, where that exactly the production is happening, that we can call it as shop floor. Once they have completed the product, then they can hand over to sales team or warehouse. If it is on a customer specific order, then directly we can inform to the sales team, boss, product is ready. Then pick up that material. Or we can hand over to warehouse team. If something like it's not we are producing a product based on the demand, projection demand, then it will be stored in the warehouse or it will be distributed to distributors, right? So for that, so something we needed manpower, which is not there in that our organization, sufficient manpower is not there. Then we can recruit the people. That activity comes under what? HR department. Now we can see one is a sales department, second one is a warehouse, and third one is a purchasing department, fourth one is a production planning department, production execution department, now HR department, right? These are all departments in a real organization scenario. Okay. For all those like raw materials we have procured, but who is going to make a payment? That is the finance task. How they can make a payment? They can inquire the document. What are the material they got supplied? What are the agreed price? Okay, the purchase department task is they can inquire the vendors in the market. They can get the quotation and they can align with the vendors with agreement that continuation supply and relevant price quotation, price agreement. That the entire year or something like seasonal, how they are going to buy or how the vendor going to supply. Based on that, they can get a agreement. So all those things will be aligned. It is all those information is available in the system, SAP system. That is, we can call it as integrated modules. Means all modules are there in that single system. Whenever something sales team is entered a product, it will reflect that what are the quantities available in the warehouse. If something they are raised a sales order, we need this so and so, immediately it will trigger to the production team. Then they will trigger a purchase request, so and so raw materials. Similar way, this is like integrated process. HR module, they can raise a they can acquire the manpower from the market based on the requirement which is provided by the departments. Yeah, this is all those things we can call it as a business process cycles. Here, one flow is a sales, another flow is a purchase. In both the scenarios, our involvement means FICO involvement is there. Something we procured, there is a, we asked the, our purchase department asked to the vendor to provide a material. They have given they have provided or delivered the goods. Then after they sent a document, hard copy, right? So one is a delivery challan that will be, they have delivered the quantity of goods. Along with that, they can give the delivery challan. What are the quantity material? What are the articles they have delivered? After that, they can give a bill, vendor bill, right? Hard copy or mail communication, whatever it is. That we need to enter into the system. What are the, when you are entered into the system, system will check whether really the goods are delivered or not. What are the quantity of material they have delivered? What is the price quote is there? Right? So once you entered into the system, then it will be open that, vendor payment, outstanding vendor payment. That we can discuss, in depth we can discuss in upcoming screens. So these are all business scenarios. Legacy system, we are not touched that, SAP. You just think about what are the departments are involved in the business process cycles. Yep. Do you have any questions on this? No question. Thank you. So what are the key modules are there in SAP? We have our 200 plus modules are there in SAP, small modules even. But major modules, these are all listed here. We can see finance and controlling module, FICO, what we are calling as sales and distribution, where the front end team is working like sales process, sales, and they can distribute the material. Distribute means they can deliver the goods to the customer location. When the customer is approached, then we can raise a sales relevant document, quotation, agreement, what are the sales, then finally deliver the goods to the client location or hand over to the client or customer. Then after we can bill to the customer. Up to that process involved in the sales and distribution. Material management. These are all major, wherever we are dealing with materials. It is in a service oriented industry or organization, then a material management is not necessary. But wherever that manufacturing process is there, or we are involved trading of goods or whatever the physical goods we are selling it into the market, then material management module is important. Human capital management may or may not be there in that client is using. Okay, sometimes client is handling in outside the system also. But human capital means HCM we can call it as, or human resource management we can call HRMS. Okay. So that their task is like just start of that, like whenever the requirement is coming up, then acquisition, retention, or even retirement also, that will be handled in the human capital management, that is purely related employees data. Production planning we just discussed, what are the demand is there, what are the facilities are available, how we can utilize the facilities or resources effectively, that will be planned in a production planning. Project systems, for example we can see that metro stations or metro project. So those project is taking longer period, means even years. So we cannot able to control like cost and revenues. The revenues will be released by the government or something like, it's a periodically or milestone base. Milestone means after the land acquisition, then they will release some fund, and after that digging put pits, okay, then concrete pillars, then after different layers. All these layers, similar kind of industries can be handled with the project systems. Then basis, it's a like system. For example, our operating system, how it is working. So something is happened. Our system got stuck. Then we can ask the mechanic, right? Similar way in SAP, so the partition or system maintenance will be handled the basis team. ABAP security. These we can discuss in detail way in the next screens. Okay. These are all key modules in SAP. And we have a 200 plus modules. Many modules are obsolete. Many new modules are introducing, but these are all major. Whatever the industry, FICO is common. Okay. Without having any, transaction, that we can call it, we cannot call it as a business. Business means it's a profit oriented by doing some sales or services, right? Wherever the sales and services or business is there, then FICO module is definitely there. Okay, that is the reason we are sustaining in the industry. So these are all, we have two types of modules. One is a functional, another one is a technical modules. What is the difference, sir? What is the difference between functional, or why we are calling it as a functional? Why it's a technical? Why these two different types of modules are there? Functional means based on the function, how the departments, what are the departments are doing, function, sales function, then it will be sales and distribution. Human resource requirement, like recruiting the people and maintaining the records after even retirement. That is the human resource. Production. These are all functionality based. Here we are not going to do any coding. Simply you can remember, we are not going to do any coding in a functional consultant, as a functional consultant. Coding means software in a backend, there is a coding. Definitely it is handled through coding, but we are not going to do any codification. How we are, what we are going to do? Whatever the SAP has given the functionality, we are just activating those things based on the business requirement. Industry to industry and country to country, geographically, requirements are different. Even though similar business, okay, it's based on industry, based on the country, based on different requirement. We can just activate the available functionalities. Means the functional consultant, they can do only existing what are the SAP given functionality. Just we are enabling the system to work with based on business requirement. We are not going to do any technical coding, even we are not touching that part. So these are all departments, based on the functions listed out a few things. That's an important part. Okay, one of the one, the finance FICO module. Yeah. So what is the FI module? What happened? Text is not came, huh? something not loaded. Okay. So FI module. Basically, it's like we are calling as a accounting, financial accounting, FI module. What financial module doing? For example, if you take a sole proprietorship, okay, like in a Kirana general store, what we can do in that? Every day we are just entering that, we can maintain one what we can call it as a diary kind of, okay. So how much we got sold to on credit basis, right? So who is the person? Means customer name, then how much value of articles we sold on the particular date. Just they can enter in the document, then later they can maintain the record separately based on the customer wise. Or the book contains that ledger folio number, right? That content first page or first 5 pages or something like. We can give the customer name and we can give the reference page number for customer details. So that is in a sole proprietorship, means in a independent business. But in real time industries, owner is not sitting into the particular area. So in that case, what happened? The data can be entered. Okay. Then after it can be classified, then analysis, then finally reporting. Basically, accounting functionality is simply record to report. We can call it as R2R. Even FICO, the other name we can use in a S4 HANA layer, that is R2R. Or otherwise we can call it as R. Let me take a hmm, R to R, or otherwise we can call it as R to R. Record to report means when the business transaction is happened, okay, it can be entered, then reclassified, then analysis, then reporting. So that is record to report layer. Okay, record to report. It's another name for FICO. Both are correct. No, no question. There is no question about why two names. We are using initially FICO. Now in S4HANA, we can also use R2R. Both are correct only. There is no. Okay. So FI module deals about that, what are the business transactions. It can be recorded only monetary transactions. You might remember that money measurement concept, right? In accounting principles. Okay. Money measurement concept means wherever that money is involved, then the transaction must be recorded. Something you try, you promise to someone, so you cannot record it. There is no money really involved. Something you have taken a goods on credit basis, or something you paid a cash and you bought a mobile. Then there is a transaction involved. It is measured in the money. Okay, so the money measured, whatever the transaction, business transactions involved in the money, okay, in terms of money, the value will be calculated, based on the product or whatever it is. Money is involved, then the record must be entered into the system that is called financial records, financial accounting. Coming to that, CO module, okay, FICO, we split in two different modules actually. FI means financial accounting. That will be used only for legal requirement. Okay, the transaction can be entered, then reporting to the legal authorities or stakeholders. Stakeholders means who is needed that information. Means customers, vendors, public, the legal entity, legal departments, right? Customer can watch that whether the product can be durable or something is happened, going to be the business is there or not. So this in a financial accounting is involved in multiple accounting principles like business entity concept. Okay, so that business is different and who is established the person, right? The owner is different. by handling the financial records. Going concern concept, that is telling that that business will work even near future. Double and like money measurement concept, matching concept, many concepts and principles are there, accounting principles. Each principle have a separate theory. Based on that, that legacy organizations are following that accounting principles. Even in SAP, the same functionality, okay, we can use. SAP is a tool, not a accounting principle, okay. That SAP tool enabled based on the accounting principles, okay. So what about the controlling module? Controlling module basically it's an internal reporting purpose. Something like product we are procuring, we are producing, or we are buying, trading goods. Like we are buying in a wholesale and we are selling into the retail market. It is basically control the cost, where the cost is, or where the resource is idle, where the resource is not using proper way, or wastage is coming up. So that we can control. It's a basically cost control process. The controlling module is simply you can call it as cost control. Minimize the cost, maximize the profit, right? Minimize the, either you can sell the more goods into the market to increase the revenue. If something really it's not a what we can call it as monopoly in the market with the product, then you minimize the cost, your production cost. Then only you can earn the profit. Otherwise, competitive goods are there in the market. You cannot put your own price. You must be adjusted within the price limits, because competitors are serving the same product. So in that case, minimize the cost, how effectively you are going to use the resources. That will be, this SAP CO module can concentrate on cost reduction process or effective resource utilization process. That we can handle in the CO module. SAP MM, it's like, using for material handling. What are the storage locations we built? What is the condition? The storage condition is needed. Either it's in a racks or something like refrigerations, or something like outside the base. Different based on the product, nature of the product, and durability and cost of the product, we can handle in a separate way. That is, we can call it as a MM modules. They can manage warehouse, they can handle procurement. Wherever the material is involved, there must be a MM module involved to handle the material issue, goods issue to the customer, raw material issue to the production. Then once production is completed, then collecting the material from the production area, then they can store in the storage location, storage process. That is called MM module. Production planning. So these those things we have already discussed. Okay, right? So I am going to focus on the technical modules and just explain few things. Technical modules. SAP basis. Sorry, here's something. Okay. Okay, later I'll edit. SAP basis module, which is handling the system. Okay. How many partitions are needed, how many systems are involved. We will discuss about the system landscape in a later session. Okay. So here just understand, basis team can handle the system performance and monitoring. Always they are monitoring the system. New patches, whenever that SAP release new patches, they can add it. Okay. Security, who is going to access, what is the required the user requirement. Based on the approvals, they can add the user IDs and passwords, whatever it is. Okay, that is called as a security. So another one is ABAP. We can call it as 1 minute. So another one is advanced business application programming. That is simply we can call it as ABAP. Okay. This is purely technical. These are all technical. This one is a purely technical. ABAP team can do the codification. SAP has given standard codification. It will work in a standard way. Something really that SAP given functionality is not working for a business requirement, then we can bypass. So the functional team, they can tell boss that SAP given standard functionality is not going to work. We need some support. So then how it is needed? So that information we can give. So that basis team, ABAP team can do the codification. The changes, the code changes can be done in the ABAP team. Okay. So then high performance analytical applications means nowadays in S4HANA, we have a reporting tools, analytical reporting tools. Okay. These are all, technical teams that will be helped us where and when it's needed. Majorly, we can connect these departments every time. Something code is not working, then we can connect to ABAP. Something system is throwing error message, something issue is coming up, then we can ask the basis team to check. Something access is needed, then we can ask the security team. Remaining also sometimes where and when it is needed, we can connect with them. These are all SAP ERP technical modules. Yeah. Okay. Now we can focus on SAP FI. This is our layer. Okay. So financial accounting, basically what we discuss, it's like, recording the business transactions. Initial, then that is like we can call it as initial entry. Then after it is updated in subledgers. What is the subledgers? Anyone can tell? If all are commerce, belongs to commerce, then you might aware about subledgers, right? What is the subledgers? Anyone remember? No? No problem. See, subledger means it's a class double entry system, right? We have a double entry system. One is debit, another one is a credit. Similar case, whenever the business transaction is happened, initial entry can be happened in the day book. In legacy system we are talking about. Then after it will be maintained in a backend classification, like if it is related to something we procured from vendor on credit basis. If it is a cash basis, then we are making a payment and we are receiving the goods. But if it is a credit basis, right, credit means sometime they will allow the making payment, means they can allow 30 days or 45 days or 90 days or whatever it is based on our credibility. Credibility means repayment capacity. Okay, that history of the repayment to the vendor. Initially, they might be given very low value articles on the credit basis. When you are keep on making payment, right? Nowadays, everyone is using credit card. So how it is CIBIL score is got increasing? Because based on the repayment status. So, and whenever you procure something on credit basis, whenever the goods you are receiving, right? So the accounting entry where it start in legacy system. I am not talking about FICO. Okay, something you are buying a goods or inventory. What are the entry in legacy system? Accounting say accounting entry. Anyone can tell? No. Okay. See, we are receiving a good means something real object we are received, right? Means that equivalent value we are not yet paid to the vendor. What double entry says? Who has given the benefit, right? Who has given the benefit is credited. What debit? Whatever the articles we received, that will be debited. Okay, so that accounting entries, all accounting entries are same as accounting golden rules, right? Golden rules, you might aware about accounting golden rules. Otherwise, I'll tell you that also, because that is the basic point. That is a necessary thing. Even not only SAP, wherever you are going to work as a financial, okay, accountant or SAP consultant or a finance manager, whatever it is. So the golden rules is must to understand, golden rules. Simply, what are the accounting golden rules? We have what are the account types? Anyone remember account types?
Personal, real,
Good.
Nominal.
nominal.
Personal account,
Real account, nominal account.
real account, nominal account. What golden rules telling us? What debit, what credit? You know, right? DR means debit.
Debit.
CR
CR
means
means credit.
credit. So I'll tell you that, simply even SAP FIS people are asking, many times whenever that initial class started, sir, is it really needed commerce background for that, to learn that FICO? My answer is no. Anyone other than doctors, huh? Please, doctors cannot come to, SAP side. Okay, so anyone can learn, even BA. Okay, who has learned the social also, they can learn SAP FICO, because nowadays we can see n number of people, even computer science, they are learned, they have their education background is a mechanical engineering, computer CS. They can tell us like, BTech CS. Okay, but why you came this side? Means they are recruiting into the, means they are recruited in the college, right? So campus requirement. Then they placed into where and when they're needed. What are the modules? Their irrespective of modules are, process they can place. Many people I were trained. Even outside, people are consulting me. So here one thing is like really appreciate for them, because if you and me, okay, both are commerce background. Whenever something we ask that, do you know accounting golden rules? Everyone say that yes, I know. Personal account, real account, nominal account, yeah, I know. But something we ask that what is the entry? Oh my God, you are asking entry. I need to check. But that non-commerce student, I can refer them as a book, that accounting, financial accounting book, intermediate book. If I ask the commerce students, commerce graduates, simply say that what sir, you are asking again to learn basic things. Because that people belongs to non-commerce, they can learn freshly, right? Okay, that is the one question. Now coming to the subject. So what is the personal account is telling that? What is the debit? Anyone? Giver?
Creditor.
Who receiving the benefit?
Debitor. Who's receiving the benefit is debit, who's giving the benefit is credit.
Correct. This is a purely person, wherever that, name of the person or artificial name of the organization. Both we can call it as a person. Okay. Then real.
What comes in debit, what goes out credit.
What comes into organization, for example, we can keep it. What comes in, it's a debit. What goes out, which is moving out of the organization, then it is a credit. Maybe English spelling mistakes. Okay, please excuse her. Nominal account. What are that?
All expenses and liabilities.
Liabilities. Did you observe any debit credit indicators in the balance sheet?
No,
Then
it is for profit and loss.
expenses and losses.
Expenses and loss.
Gain and
Incomes and gains.
income. Sometimes we can call it as other than these two, which is called as a nominal account also, right? If it is not a real account, if it is not a personal account, then it will comes under nominal account, right? So this is a golden rule. Up to here is an everyone is comfort from the commerce background, but something like I'll tell you, purchase, inventory purchase, XYZ vendor. Now tell me, it is on a credit basis, okay? How much, for example, 10,000 rupees. Now tell me what is the accounting entry?
XYZ
Anyone?
person. Sundry credit.
Right or wrong? Do not bother about, okay? Something inventory purchase from XYZ vendor on credit basis, 10,000 rupees worth. What is the
Inventory
accounting entry here?
purchase is
Sundry credit.
debit, vendor is credit.
Sundry credit.
You mentioned vendor is credit. Okay, XYZ is credit. Okay. Then what is the debit?
Purchase.
Purchases.
So you mentioned purchase, right?
Yeah.
But what comes here in this?
XYZ credit.
Mm-hmm. So
Sundry credit.
here that we are doing the mistakes. Okay. I'll explain you in a simple way. First, you just identify the two objects in the double entry system, right?
Yeah.
What double entry system telling that two objects are there? Two object must be there in a single transaction, business transaction. Here you can first identify the object. Inventory is the one, right? First inventory is coming up, then XYZ. Okay. Then you can identify the account type. Inventory, it's in a real account. XYZ is a personal account.
Personal account.
Then you can apply the debit credit.
What comes in inventory comes in the, so that's why
Inventory is
we,
coming into the organization, means real
yeah.
object. Once it is came into the organization, you must record a entry. What is the entry? That second part you can enter in the XYZ vendor who is given the benefit is created, right?
XYZ credited. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are not learn this, simply many, your even GST is asking me like, you just directly go to the FICO module. If I something I am really going to the FICO module, what will be happen? You never learn this, right? Whatever the entry I have given in the board, that's just you note it down, then you can proceed that. Something interviewer is asked you, what is the entry here? Then it's a surprise thing because so this by heart is may not remember always. But if your conceptually is okay, then whatever the question interviewer is asking, then immediately you can in analysis, then you can find that objects, then apply the account types, then debit credit. Simply, it's in a simple way. Concept is important. Whatever the training is there, if you are learned really based on the conceptual, then it will be help your career. If you are by hearting something, so it may not help. Okay. So this is like, debit credit, this is the golden rule is important part. So I am suggesting everyone, even though you are comfort now, but tomorrow may or may not be comfort. So everyone can take a print out and paste it in a, wherever that, door or somewhere you are frequently visiting. Okay, every day you can see that golden rules. This is the one suggestion. Let's go into that subject. Okay. So general ledger, we have a subledgers concept, right? Subledgers means wherever that, indirectly it's an updated. So how many things you are, comfort here in this screen, which I am sharing? Anyone can tell if something you have a knowledge. Ledger, right? When you are learn, commerce in if you are belongs to CEC or BCom computers or MCom, right? What is the ledger? Forget about the general. What is the ledger?
Daily transactions recording.
It's a book. Okay. It's a book. Purchase ledger, sales ledger, cash ledger, right? Book where you are entering the data. So here general ledger means it's a unique object. Okay. In SAP, we have a unique object, unique number that denotes the nature of the expenses or revenue or balance sheet or whatever it is. Okay. That we will learn, in detail how it is going to be used. What are the how many people are aware about the account receivable, where it is reflects? First, before going to ask this question, I will ask you one question. What are the financial statements you are aware about? What are the financial statements you have seen? Anyone? I'm sorry, maybe you do not feel angry, angry, because I'm just wants to understand where you are. Then I will explain you the concept. My motive is not only SAP. I want to make you conceptually understand the process. Okay? Hope you understand. So, what is the account receivable, account payable? Where you have seen these line items? Which statement it reflects? Anyone? What are the
P&L.
financial statements?
P&L. P&L.
P&L. Okay. Anyone? So, first we need to understand what are the financial statements. One is a topmost important one that legal departments or company as per company acts, it will ask two main reports, right? What are those reports?
Balance sheet and
Balance sheet and profit and loss.
profit.
Exactly. Thank you. Balance sheet and P&L account, profit and loss account. Why it is needed? Because they want to understand not only government, customers, vendors, and even public stakeholders, shareholders. Everyone can observe that what is the balance sheet it reflects. What is the last year net worth, how much it is there. What are the changes is happened in the debt and investment process. What is the working capital? Okay. What is the working capital changes happened? The ratios, okay, financial ratios, leverage ratios, P ratios, right? These ratios will calculated based on the financial statement versions of balance sheet and P&L account, right? Quick ratio, liquid ratio, right? Liquid ratio, quick ratio, inventory, working capital ratios. Because so we'll go into that in a depth in a later part. Okay, once when you started the account receivable and account payable. Basically, account receivable and account payables are reflected in balance sheet. It's not updated directly. Something you are now we are seeing that one example. Something we bought from vendor XYZ vendor, raw material or inventory. Material has came into organization. Okay. Later he has sent a bill. Once we enter a bill into the system, it will raise indirectly it will raise to account payable. Means inventory is asset side, right? Balance sheet. But equivalent entry must be there in the liability side. Otherwise, balance sheet cannot match. Right or wrong?
Yes,
So
right.
that account payable, that the obligation, the liability to that third party, third person, other than that organization, as per business entity concept, even your owner has withdrawn the material, it will be recorded in the system. Okay, it's an personal drawings, we can call it as. So here that whatever the equivalent value we received in asset side, increase in asset side, that equivalent outstanding balance, vendor balance we need to maintain in the liability side. That is accounts payable. Something we sold out materials, finished good, whatever it is, or services provided to the customer. Then that will be reflected. Means it is reduce the inventory. Then where it is increased? Tell me anyone can tell where it is increased. Raw
Receivable.
material we sold on credit basis. Means the material inventory got reduced. Now where it is increased, how the balance sheet will be matched? Anyone can tell?
We
How the
sold.
balance sheet match? Your inventory withdrawn already.
Debitor.
Sorry?
Receivable debitors.
Exactly. So that is the account receivable or debtors balances or sundry debtors. Those are terminologies we can call it as, means we can see in the balance sheet asset side. Means here something we withdrawn purpose of we sold to the customer on credit basis. It is one side change only. Okay, in the balance sheet it's an one side change. It inventory got reduced, that equivalent benefit increased in the account receivable, which is outstanding customer balances. It is updated indirectly. XYZ or ABC customer, whatever it is, the value is reflecting in the balance sheet is a cumulated one, total customers outstanding balances, not individual customers. All customers outstanding balances is showing in the balance sheet, that is an account receivable. Okay, or trade receivable or other receivables, whatever it is. Yeah. So we can classify. How we are going to classify customers? When you are dealing about account receivable, then customers. It is which is reflecting customer balances. How you can collect the customer balances? Local customer, foreign customers, right? So similar way, foreign vendors, local vendors, different types of vendors. Then banks. Why we need bank? We need to maintain in SAP? We are not the bank, right? Anyone? No? Okay, no problem.
Transactions,
Yeah, go ahead.
transactions reflect
Your voice
bank
is
transaction.
low. I think. See, we are. Bank is issuing one passbook for us, right? And we are maintaining the cash book in our organization. How much cash is in our record? How much cash is in a bank based on the bank passbook? Whenever you are depositing, whenever you are withdrawing the amount, something customer directly debited to our account, we are making a payment to the vendors. So in SAP, enable the functionality automatic payment. Other than SAP, we need to prepare a check or we need to hand over the hard cash to the vendor. But here in SAP, once we maintain the information related to vendor, that we can call it as vendor master details. It includes, we can collect the bank details of vendor. Means that after credit period, 30 days means on 29th day or 30th day, system will prepare a check and it will be auto credited to vendor account based on the some parameters, configuration, something like in system. Means instead of something clerk mistakes or some delay of the check preparation, delay of the handover the check or cash to the vendor. So SAP is given that functionality auto credited to the vendor's account. Okay. So that is automatic payment related. Those requirement we can make our, all the banks available in the SAP system. And it is connected with your banks interface based on the interface bank server to our SAP server. And the final one, fixed assets. What do you mean by fixed asset?
Land, furniture, buildings.
What are the classifications are there in asset side?
Fixed assets and long-term assets.
Yeah, but we have a classification, right? In whenever you observe in the company's balance sheet, there is a, we
Fixed
can,
current,
yeah, first is a cash, current asset, then investment, then
long-term
after
assets.
fixed asset, then after like, right? So fixed asset again we have a classification. One is a
Current assets, one is
tangible,
intangibles.
intangible, right?
Yeah,
So, how we are handling, because why we need to handle these assets into that, SAP system? Because when you procured or when you, install your machinery, every month you have a depreciation, right? Value
yeah,
decrease. How we are going to, because the machinery we are using in a production process.
yeah,
So you cannot charge that whatever the purchase of asset, you cannot charge directly to the PNL account. If on of sudden you have charged 1 crore rupee as a PNL account, then your organization will show as a negative. So what is the accounting treatment is there? The depreciation. You can use estimate
yeah,
the useful lives of the asset, then
yeah,
reduce and you can charge the expenses to your P&L account every year, not the single time when you procure, when you install the machinery, right?
yeah,
So
yes,
the for that purpose, we need to maintain all the information related to asset when you procured, when you installed, when it is capitalized, when the depreciation can start, what are the years it's already left, what are the depreciation years still is there when you are implementing the SAP, and how much depreciation every period means depreciation usually charged on year base, but in SAP system, it is providing even single day you can charge depreciation. Every day you can charge. Or periodically, every month you can charge the depreciation to PNL account. The charged amount is not really going outside. It's not going. It's we can provision like cumulative depreciation. We can call it as once one is enough, one layer is in, we can charge the expenses as an expenses to P&L account. The same value we can make it as an accumulated value. Then that value reflects an investment as a investment in third other securities, whatever it is. This is the accounting layers. Okay. Forget about that. First thing is we need to charge a depreciation. So you need to maintain a records. That is the fixed assets. The fixed assets again tangible, intangible. Tangible again we can have a classification. That is the land, building, furniture, vehicles, tools, whatever it is. The classification. Yeah. So like this way we need to learn each and every object. Then how we are going to enable the SAP system that we can learn. Okay. Concept is important. My training is majorly focused on the concept. Then system, it will available even Google, right? But how, why, what? These are all important points. The conceptual learning is important. Okay. So I think we can. It's a lengthy today, so we can stop here. Okay. Any questions? Anyone? Any kind of questions you can ask your doubts. No questions? Anusha, Shailaja. Even see, one thing is, I'll tell you, even when you are learning something, right? Even do not feel, everyone is came for, learn the things, right? So even that is maybe it's a single silly question from my perspective, but it's a valid question your side. Because if you are not clear on that, question, then it will keep on, uh, killing your time. Okay, you definitely thinking on that only until otherwise it is cleared. Okay, do not bother about. Okay, everyone is okay to learn the SAP. Even small doubt or bigger doubt, whatever it is, you can ask, feel free to ask. Then only you can learn in a perfect way. Yeah, but the question should not repeat again. That is the one thing you need to focus. Okay, if no questions, then we can wind up the call today. Yeah, no question. Thank you all. Thank you
No
for your
questions.
time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye for now. We'll connect back again.